Welcome back to the PI Files, where we dig into real cases, real people, and the role of private investigators in uncovering the truth. I'm your host, Eric Peterson. I'm a licensed private investigator here in California.
I better be ready for bodies to hit the floor because he was ready to die.
No, he was already in the suicidal mind. He's not gonna stop until he kills somebody.
Before we begin, I want to make something very clear. I did not ask Enrique and Veronica to publicly relive what happened to them. In fact, after everything this family endured, stalking, extortion, arson attacks, shootings, threats, and fear that spread across multiple counties and even into Mexico, I would have completely understood if they never wanted to speak about this again. But Enrique and Veronica told me they wanted to share their story for one reason: to help educate people who may be going through something similar to this right now. Because many victims don't realize how dangerous these situations can become until it's too late. Many feel isolated, many feel afraid, and they don't think anyone will believe them. Some parts of this episode are emotional, some parts are disturbing, but this is the reality of what target, intimidation, and escalating violence can look like. And this family lived through it. Well, thank you very much, Enrique and Veronica, for being here. I really appreciate it.
It's a pleasure, Eric, for the services you provided, something that you never expect to happen to you or to your family.
Before all of this started, what was your life like as a family, just in general?
We always been very close with our close family, a lot of family gatherings, parties, family functions, and open to invite people. Again, we never thought that, especially somebody that my wife knew from high school, that would turn things completely different and change the way we see people now. I mean, now it's like we
Have a guard.
Yeah, we have a guard and we're kind of more private. Again, we're very selective on people who we
I think we had
socialize
joked
with.
around saying, anytime we meet somebody new, because we're that couple that we would go to a restaurant and talk to the people at the bar next to us. And I think we made jokes about, with Eric, moving forward, anytime anybody you guys meet, I'm gonna run a background check. We're like, yes, I think we're gonna start doing that, Eric.
Yeah, sometimes I'm too extreme on the other side, but it's good to kind of do that and then tone it back. Because, so you knew the suspect in high school for how long? Like, how well did you know him?
I mean, he wasn't a stranger. I mean, I knew him. For me, I'm the oldest of three siblings. For my mom and dad to allow him to even to come to, over. I mean, it was because they thought he was a good person. We knew him. We thought we knew him very well. I mean, I remember him in high school being having good grades, and even because I think he came from a single mom, and he had a job outside school. And I would be like, that's amazing that he doesn't have it. I guess dad's not in the picture, but he's over there after school, keeping up with his grades and going to work. And sometimes he would pick, I think, extra shifts. He would tell me because sometimes he wouldn't go to class, but he kept up with his grades. And I remember him calling me sometimes the days that he missed. He would call me, hey, what was today's lesson or what, or pass me the homework. And I would give it to him over the phone. But yeah, like I said, he was not a stranger.
And then sometime between high school and then later on, maybe your sister reconnected with him.
Well, the relationship still continued because after high school, because my brother and I think we're like a 2.5 years difference. So my brother became very good friends with him. So the relationship continued or expanded with him. So my brother would go out with him. So, and then me and my sister are 8 years apart. So, he saw my sister like, oh, that's like my little sister. And, so after I got married, the relationship continued with my brother. They would hang out. Sometimes I think he would come over, visit my parents. So like I said, he was not a stranger to the family.
And there were no signs of any red flags, like nobody, like your brother or your sister said, this happened, or this was kind of weird, or this is...
No, just being...
Yeah, and then the thing is, during this time, my sister-in-law, Veto's sister, was going through a divorce. So she was probably a little bit vulnerable. and
depression.
again, originally they never came out as they were like boyfriend, girlfriend, but they were living. They started hanging out a lot together, and eventually they moved in together. So again, we didn't ask questions. They're grown adults, consenting adults. So we just let it be whatever. And again, we didn't meddle into their private lives. So they were together for 5 years.
Like almost 5.
Yeah, so they were together for a while.
And around 2021, actually 2017, they reconnected, and then and then they lived together. And then at some point, he says maybe the relationship goes sour, and then he says she owes him money.
Yeah, what happened was during that time we owned some rental properties, and during that time when interest rates dropped to as low as we refinanced a lot of our properties, and we pulled some money to make investments, purchase more real estate. And at the time, Jack Bettle's sister was renting. They were renting a house in Fontana, and the lease came up, and it was gonna renew for a lot more. So I talked to my wife and told her we should buy a house, and they could pay the rent. Instead of paying rent, they could pay us. And so that's how it came about. And so we bought a house in the Inland Empire, and both of them moved in together. At first, they seemed pretty happy. Everything seemed great. After about a month or two, they started having problems. I think it was financial problems. And again, we always, Bettel's sister, we always support her, and we told her if there's any issues, we could just rent the house out to somebody else. For Jackie, she always has a place with us. But things started getting weird after that. After they moved in, the gentleman wanted to talk to us, which I didn't. I told him, there's no need for me to talk. I mean, I didn't make a deal with you or with. Really don't care to hear about your problems. I have enough of my own to deal with. So he kept bugging Bettel's parents,
Showing up at their house.
and Bettel's sister also. It became like almost obsessed. Came to the point where things turned really, really fast, really, really ugly. To the point where he started threatening the sister, and at first you never think it's gonna escalate, especially knowing somebody or knowing that my wife knew him since high school, and you never think like it's gonna escalate to more. You just think, oh, it's just some obsession, or just he's just talking to intimidate us. So I never, at first, I never considered even going to the police or anything. I thought, oh, this is just it's gonna blow away.
When he said, I wanted to talk to you, what was it? Did he call you, text you, or you said he talked to your parents about what? Like, what did was he obsessed about your sister-in-law? Was he obsessed what was he wanting to talk to you about?
That was my question. I wasn't sure, and I didn't really care. But apparently, his whole thing was, I want to tell you my side of the story.
Okay.
And I'm like, well, whatever your side is, it doesn't really matter. I mean, if she doesn't want to be with you, she doesn't want to be with you. So you need to move out.
It became like an obsession. Like, yeah.
And what benefit with him telling you his side of the story has anything to do with their relationship and how she feels, right?
Exactly. That's exactly how I felt. That whatever he said, I mean, it wasn't gonna make any difference to me, and I was in no position to, again, whether he was right or wrong or whatever the case was. I mean, these are two consenting adults that they need to figure their problems out. And when we started being a little bit more involved was when he started threatening Jackie.
I think one time he parked in front of her house for like 30,
20 or yeah,
like 36
36
hour,
hours.
right in front of her house. And I think she called the police, and police was like, oh, we can't do anything because he's not literally in your property. I mean, he was doing crazy stuff like that. I mean, stalking her. I mean, she tried to get a restraining order, but she couldn't because they couldn't locate him.
But
So
okay.
no success there.
But at some point, the talking had something to do with a debt that he felt that he was owed.
Yes. So again, he texts, he called, he called my cell phone, and I even blocked him because I didn't want to hear anything from him. I mean, there was nothing that he would have that he would have told me that I would have said, oh, you know what, I completely understand. So eventually, he waited for me at my house. When I pulled into my parking lot, a car pulled up right next to me, and it was him and some other guy, one of his friends, and that's where he started. He's at first he wanted to talk, and I'm like, look, I got nothing to tell you, and whatever you got to tell me, I go, it doesn't really matter. Jackie doesn't want to be with you, so you just got to leave her alone and move on. And he's like, well, you don't understand. Your wife it helps her, and she doesn't tell you. I go, of course she's gonna help her. It's her sister. We both help her. It's who we are. We're supportive, and well, she owes me money, or he at first he started saying like that they owe her money. I go, well, if she owes you money, that's you and her. I didn't let you borrow any money. So what do I have to do with this? Then his friend that came with him started screaming or telling him, oh, just tell them that they need to sell the house and they need to pay you the money. And when I heard that, I was like, what are you talking about? How much money did you let me borrow for that house? I mean, that house had nothing to do with him at all. He at first he didn't say a specific number or anything that we owe him. He just said that, well, I better be ready for bodies to hit the floor because he was ready to die, but he wasn't gonna die by himself. He was gonna take a lot of our family. And again, I'm thinking like, oh, this is a psycho nut. So I didn't think twice about it. They eventually left, him and the friend that came with him. And I came in the door, and my wife was outside, and she was again scared, and I was just like trying to process what had just happened, because I'm like, this is the same guy that came over to our birthday parties, same guy that my kids stayed at their house with their cousins. It's like, what just happened? I was just baffled by the whole thing.
Did you take it seriously?
No, I didn't. I'm like, this guy is just hot-headed. Whatever happened, they couldn't figure things out, or their relationship. I thought it was just that their relationship, that they broke off, and he was maybe a little bit upset, and just like many times that you hear that one guys get a little bit crazy. But that's all I thought. I didn't think it was going to lead to anything more than that.
When you look at that video, because you guys have great footage of it, he was essentially lying in wait, waiting for you to come home, because you pull in the driveway, he pulls in, gets out immediately, and starts talking to you. And then it's clear that you're like, I don't want to talk to you about this. You were walking away, and then what happened after that?
I don't remember if it was immediately after that or a couple of days later. We started getting calls.
Days later, we kind of thought like, okay, he came, like they said, he got his moment, his 5 minutes of fame. He came, talked to us, and told us, and try to even put stuff into my husband's head about myself too. And we're like, okay, he already did that. We haven't heard from him. Okay, he probably just like got, he already got the idea like, okay, you know what, he's taking it like, okay, this is over with between him and my sister. But all of a sudden, I think I let my parents borrow the Honda. Remember, we had the Honda. I don't remember exactly what happened, but my parents needed a car, and I let them borrow my Honda. And then from there.
Excuse me for a second, but before all that, we started getting calls from private blocked numbers.
Oh no, his sister called me. Remember? Yeah, his sister. Remember, we got COVID. I think that time it was Cassie got COVID. And then I remember we came from going to the urgent care. His sister calls me from a private number. I answer, and she pretty much just threatened my sister. And the same thing, she's over here telling me, hey, my brother just wants to talk to you guys, and he wants you to get his version. Your sister's not who she is, and all this side of it. And I'm just like, first of all, I don't even know you. Why the heck are you even calling me? And she thought, I don't know who she thought she was. She was like, she's like, well, if your sister ever comes down to Mexico, I'll find out it. I'll meet up with her. And I'm just like, okay, whatever. I didn't pay attention to it. And I'm like, you know what? I'll talk to you later, Emma. Whatever my sister and your brother had nothing to do with it. They're grown adults. So not my problem.
This was a sister that lived in Mexico?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then at some point, because there's a bunch of incidents, November 19, 2021, the Honda that you were talking about
Yes.
in San Bernardino County, somebody threw something inside the vehicle and caused damage. So, like, was it?
I think it was like a.
Well, before all that, before it got to escalated to the violence, the physical violence, we would get a lot of phone calls, and some of these calls were coming from Mexican burner numbers, where they would call and all of a sudden they would say that we owe money to some cartel or some again pretending to be a cartel that we needed to pay that money. ¿Quién eres? ¿Tú quién eres? ¿Tú quién eres? Okay, era. ¿Dónde, vente? ¿Dónde te miro? ¿Dónde te miro para arreglar esto? No, pues por eso, ¿dónde te miro? ¿Dónde te miro? Para mirarte.
Juana.
¿Por qué en Tijuana? En Tijuana yo no conozco a nadie.
Nomás en Juana ya.
Ok, no, ven, tú vienes acá a hacer pendejadas en mi casa, ven para acá. ¿Dónde te miro?
No en Tijuana, no, ya le dijo. Entonces, no hay ningún problema más que en Tijuana.
Ok, ¿dónde te miro? ¿Dónde te miro para arreglar esto? Yo y tú, vamos a arreglarlo.
Que van a venir para acá para Tijuana.
No, tú vas a venir para acá. Yo no te debo.
¿Por qué voy para allá?
No, pues, ¿por qué chingados vienes para acá a hacer pendejadas?
Bueno, ya le dijeron y tú ya sabes. Bueno, todo nada más que decir, ahí ustedes saben.
No, pues por eso, ven. Ok, pues, ven para pagarte. ¿Dónde te miro para pagarte?
Venga para aquí, para Tijuana, pues, frío de la feria pasazo, que quiere pagar, pues.
Ok, tú dices que te debo. ¿Quién eres tú? ¿Quién eres tú?
Yo ya no voy a ver a nadie. Van así o... Ya sabes, y que por qué no digo que ni más, es ver en Tijuana.
Ok, ¿en Tijuana con quién?
Pues ya sabes.
No, yo no sé. ¿Quién eres tú? Por eso, háblame. ¿Quién eres tú?
Pues ya le comenté, ya padre.
No, yo no sé. Por eso te estoy diciendo. ¿Quieres que te pague? Puta madre, ahorita lo voy a marcar otra vez. And so we would hang up, we would block them, but then a different number would come up, and it wasn't just me and my wife. It was my in-laws, my wife's parents that were getting those threatening calls all the time. It went as far as an aunt that lives in Tijuana. She got a visit from some strangers again, saying that my wife and her sister owe money to
And
cartel.
we're hiding out there.
And that they better pay. At first, you don't think anything serious, but when things are constantly happening in the calls, you start thinking like, wow, is this guy really affiliated with somebody? But then you start thinking like, if that was the case, they're
gonna not make that kind
yeah. Again,
Gonna do it.
It was just a lot of calls, a lot of texts, and it was day and night, and
that's before any of the
violence.
Okay.
And then that's after that again, and we're talking about it. This wasn't like a one day thing. It was It was a spread. It was spread over weeks, months.
To multiple people.
Yeah.
Were they still going after the sister as well?
Yes.
Was she getting the calls?
Yes.
Wow.
And again, and they would stop for a week or two, and then they would continue.
At what point did you maybe take it more seriously? Because when you look at
I think for me was when those men went out to Mexico, out to TJ, which I'm pretty sure he probably called somebody and asked for a favor. Hey, I'll send you some money, but go and to this house, this address. But I'm like, if you're willing to do that far, I'm just like, wait a minute, why? Why that?
Because they looked like amateurs. They
They didn't even know the names.
Yeah, they were.
Who to ask for.
Una muchacha que tiene una deuda de $7,000. Ah, la muchacha. Sí, ahorita déjeme algo mejor no es, pero es el. Luego, ¿cómo me dio el nombre de la muchacha? Ajá, sí, porque aquí estoy. Ay, sí, sí. Sí, no, está bien, aquí vamos a hablar con el señor.
Tengo que ver ahí.
O sea, está el señor y está la señora.
¿Quién es el no?
Pues, él es el que le deben dinero.
¿Pero cómo se llama él?
Pues las muchachas han de saber, pues, y nosotros venimos.
Pero ellas son sobrinas mías.
Sí, sí, pero él las está buscando ya, pero no las encuentran. Entonces le dieron esta dirección diciendo que aquí estaba. O sea, nosotros no venimos ni unas cuantos, Pepe, no vamos a meter a tu casa. Somos hombres, y no porque que venimos los tres, no porque venimos a hacer algo, ¿me entiendes? Para que no piensen, ay, no. Ya, mi respeto para usted, para su familia, para su esposa.
No, mi hermano.
A vuestro hermano, pues. No, pues no es lo único que queremos que usted le diga, que arreglen el problema, pues. Jamás voy a venir yo con respeto. Jamás.
It was a little bit comical because they were talking to the aunt and they didn't know exactly what it was, and they had this guy on the phone, and you could hear
Forgot the
them.
names of who he
Yeah.
was asking for. He forgot my name and my sister.
And you could hear it on the ring camera from my aunt's my wife's aunt. He's on the phone like telling them what to do or what to say.
And didn't they put the mantra?
The banner.
Yeah.
Put a manta.
Mantra, yeah.
With my name and my sister's name in front of my aunt's house, and the guy you can see in her ring video where has a mask and they put a manta with our names and saying that it was some cartel guy, like it said something like pay Veronica and my sister's name, or you guys are gonna die, and with the signature of somebody out there. It got to the point where I guess I mean I know the Mexican police in Tijuana wanted me and my sister to go out there, but we're like, but then also the detectives, I guess because we were U.S. citizens, even the detectives of San Diego got involved, and I don't even know how they got our number, but I even have an email where the detective was like, please do not travel. You and your sister, I know your family, do not travel because your name came on this month. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, so even there, I was kind of like, wait, is he affiliated or what? It was just, yeah, I was.
Like you guys knew him and your sister, no gang affiliation, no crazy.
It's one of those stories where, you see and you're like, they have a double life and you're like, wait, did he have a double life and we didn't even know about it? And yeah, where you see in America Most Wanted, it was scary.
So we've got this Mexico stuff that occurs, but then in 2021 November, they start throwing things breaking windows and lighting the cars on fire in San Bernardino County.
Yes.
Yeah, the first incident, it was as my wife was saying, her mother borrowed a Honda Accord. She had it parked in the driveway at her house, and must have been, I don't know, like a 9, 10. It wasn't that late.
because I called you. Right?
There's a car pulls up in front of it, and somebody walks out and breaks the window and throws something inside the driver's or the passenger side, and you just see the whole thing just light up and blow up inside, and they leave. So after that, it started getting violent.
So after that, did you change your mindset?
After that, I think that's when we went to the police and
We were going already to the police.
in Orange. Yeah.
And what did you do then?
And then in San Bernardino too. We were
Yeah.
going with them, the detectives. We had even some of their cell phone numbers in case an incident would happen again. Like
What report was there any report made in Orange?
Yeah, we did, and and the police were very helpful as much as they could, but they were pretty
there's no
honest.
evidence.
They were pretty honest, and they're like, well, there's not much we could do, and they did park a couple days. They parked extra security patrols, and even
But that was for the fact that everything was happening. But before that, no, they were just like, well, do you owe him money? I'm like, no, if I did, I mean, why would I be here? I'm all like, and it was frustrating because I was like, I can't believe how he's able to get away with all this. And it's like, I mean, we're the victims here, but at times it made us feel like we were not, like we were affiliated. And like I told one time, I think it was a detective. I'm like, if we're affiliated, we would not get you guys involved. We would have taken care of the problem ourselves, but we're not. We're hardworking people. But yeah, it was very frustrating and hard.
Did you ever think about, at that point, a restraining order or something like that?
Yeah, we did, but there was no way we couldn't do it
Because
because
you couldn't find it.
couldn't find them. So it didn't help us.
And then on November 30th, 2021, a Dodge van, just the innocent neighbor, they got their car blown up.
Yeah, he didn't want to get a ticket, so he asked my in-laws if he could park the van there.
So he parked in the driveway.
Yeah.
And they messed with his car. And then December 2021, that's when he does arson on your work vehicle.
Our house?
Yeah, that's it was my father-in-law's at the time.
Okay.
Because again, he was going around threatening the sister and the parents. So at the time, they were staying with us because we didn't want them to be by themselves. Both of their cars were here at our house, and that's when they came. I think it was a couple people that came and they poured what looked like gasoline into both my father-in-law's and my mother-in-law's car, and and lit it up. And this wasn't that late. It was like around 9 something. It was
My mom's the one that noticed.
pretty early. Yeah, my mother-in-law noticed it. So,
'Cause I guess the flames, they were in the second floor, and one of our kids' rooms staying, and I guess my mom noticed that the flames reached all the way to the second floor, and she goes and knocks on my room. Beto, open the door,
they're lighting up the house. Yeah,
So yeah, it was.
so we ran outside. By that time, they were gone, and we
Hosed it down.
we hosed it down. So didn't get worse.
Did you end up changing up your habits and maybe stop feeling safe inside your home at that time? Because that was the first Orange PD case that started,
Yeah.
crime report that happened here.
Yeah, again, it's one of those where we should do all the time, but you never think about it. But at that time, I mean, I go to work pretty early, so before even stepping out, you're looking everywhere, just making sure. And before you drive out, you kind of circle the block to make sure you don't see any car suspicion, people inside. But yeah, definitely, it was a very stressful time for all of us.
And then how about your sister? Was she getting any heat?
She moved out. She relocated herself for a few months just because she was living by herself, and we didn't want her because, I mean, at this point, it was looking like domestic abuse, and a lot of those cases, 50% of them, a lot of women get killed, and that was our fear. I was scared that one day I was going to get a call from somebody that, especially with when all this, I mean, as it is, we're a very close family and we talk to each other every day. So at that point, we were just talking constantly during the day. So if we didn't hear from somebody, we're like, oh my God, are you okay? Are you okay? So I think for us to sleep in peace, I told my sister, either you come over here and stay with us, or you go to a friend's house, but you're not staying there at the house by yourself anymore. Well, please do not put that stress on me. Please, please, please. Well, I beg you. And she's like, yeah, don't worry, sis. And I'll stay at a friend's house. Don't worry. So she was not staying there. So at least I had that peace of mind, just because, like I said, she was staying by herself.
And then at some point, you thought about contacting a private investigator. What made you do that?
When the police pretty much, they couldn't give us the 24-hour or too much the resources they didn't have. So at that point, I mean, we weren't sleeping well because the calls kept going worse and worse. And again, the threats kept coming. And by this point, since there was already violence, and not only that, but before there was shooting, they shot my mother-in-law's house. They shot the garage door.
Yeah, that was December 2021. Shot 8 times.
Yeah.
In San Bernardino.
Yeah. But I think before that, that's when we started looking at different options, what we could do.
It was tough because this guy was moving all over. Then didn't he have a car business where he could drive multiple cars? So he really didn't have roots. And I ended up going and talking to his sister that's in Southern California.
And we're pretty sure family was helping him.
Yeah.
For sure, to get around,
And he ended up, she cried in front of me. I thought she had sympathy for you guys, but that's her brother, so you don't know. It's interesting. You don't know where he was laying his head, because we were all over. And at one point, my person looking back thought that they saw him, maybe one time.
Yeah, I think when I provided you the ID, I think she said that she missed them by
Yeah. However, on something like that, we would just want to monitor.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't want my person to.
Yeah, no, I know. Especially the way that he was acting, the way that he was just acting. We were like, you know what? He's not in his right state of mind. And I mean, with all the crimes that he had already done, we're like, I wouldn't doubt he would try to harm somebody, or kill.
Yeah. And then we were providing surveillance at night because of these arsons and things like that. And
at least those times when you were here, we were able to get some peace of mind, sleep, and we were like, okay, because that time was hard. And we were still both working. I mean, we didn't take time off. We needed to act like, okay, nothing's wrong, and still be able to go to work and like I said, and the kids to school. But yeah, it was.
Yeah, and the kids, I mean, they didn't know exactly to what extent of the violence that was going on, but it was
just getting worse.
Yeah, and it was one of those where we didn't want to take them out of school, so we wanted to protect them, but at the same time have their normal lives continue.
Because I think it happened a little bit after COVID. So with the whole COVID, the online on school, I mean, it changed everything. So we wanted them to go back to school the normal. It had just gotten back to school after that COVID shut down, and pulling them away, we were like, okay, we just want them to have a normal transitioning, because all that was just difficult on them. And so we tried to, at first when it was just the text messages and the incidents going out over there at my sister and my mom's house, they were not aware, so we didn't tell them. But once it hit our home, it was, how do you hide that?
Yeah, so you were shielding them, but it's hard to shield them from the car burning in the driveway.
Yeah, exactly. And it's then, okay, why are you moving us to your bedroom? Is something gonna happen, and like
So they were affected initially right off the bat, right now.
Yeah.
And then in January 2022, your sister had her vehicle. The arson was committed on that vehicle.
Yeah, she had moved out for maybe about a month or 2. And again, this whole thing it spanned over several months. When things would get quiet for a couple weeks or even longer. At that point, she felt that everything was quiet, but apparently she must have had a lot of time or was really stalking everybody, because the day that she went back to her house, they blew up her car and shot at the house a couple times also.
Yeah, it's, when people are asking for money and then they're causing them to pay out money, he's caused burning up cars,
Yeah.
yeah.
And the thing is, again, and I'm sure it would cross anybody's mind, after a while, you just want everything to go away. So after a while, sometimes you would think like, okay, let me just get this over with. I could always make more money and it's gonna disappear. But I'm so glad we didn't go in that direction. I'm so glad we went to the police, and most of all that we went to you for your services, because again, during that time your mind is not straight, you're not thinking straight, and you were that person that kind of kept us grounded. And again,
Off the bat, the timeline, that was a big...
and the incidents again, the incidents that happened, you kept detailed records where later in court,
That helped the case.
the police was going to you. They were coming to us for, can you give us these dates, this information? And at the time, our heads were earned straight, and that's where your services came in so good, where you would just talk to the police directly. You had everything documented, and when any calls or texts came, we just told you about it, and you had everything down to the numbers and the time that they were calls.
The videos.
So I'm very sure that made it a lot easier for the police to put the case together.
Yeah, one of the things I want to talk about during this is, I always tell clients I care about the cases, and this one is one of the, we'll say, emotionally involved, because you guys are good people. And I'll never forget sitting down here and looking at all of your family members, because you were kind of interviewing me about what can you provide, what can you do. And I think the number one thing was protection and the surveillance and counter surveillance, and then this, because I always tell clients, not everybody is going to care as much as you do about your case. And especially on something like this, where you have multiple locations. Some locations, like Orange, I thought they did a good job at responding to certain things and doing certain things. In San Bernardino, it's a different world. I remember going, I think it was in December, and I think one of the neighbors, we wanted to confront some people or follow them, and I think there was somebody on the block that was watching one of the houses, so we all raced out there. I think it was in December or January.
Yeah, it was around December.
And one of the, let's say, drunk neighbors come in from their garage, I think pop some rounds, warning shots to get this guy out of their neighborhood. And I go, next time, can you please just don't confront him. We have current cases going. Let's follow him. Let's call the police so we can start working up the totem pole here, And so it took a lot of coordination, and we'll get to it later with respect to the DA, but it's a lot. And Orange is going to be concerned about them. San Bernardino, them, any other city, Mexico, who knows if they're going to talk to anybody. So we were trying to, catch him in the act, or his buddies that were helping him out, but it didn't help that San Bernardino resident, great neighbor they get people out of the neighborhood that shouldn't be there, I guess. And then in January 2025, he ends up calling you and admitting to everything, and said that there's a lot more bad things coming. And
That it wasn't him anymore. That it wasn't him. That he couldn't stop it anymore. That other people were involved. And I'm like, no, they're not. It's all you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I mean, I'm like, it's not. I'm all like, and then he wanted to seem like, well, look at the lifestyle that I had, that I had this big house and the cars that I drove, and I'm just like, didn't laugh, but I was just like, what lifestyle are you talking about?
The house that he was renting
Yeah,
from you guys.
yeah. Like he wanted to seem that he wanted to intimidate me by thinking that he was in other kind of business. That's why that's why the lifestyle he had. I'm like, you're a normal person.
Yeah.
You live in a normal house, and honestly, like I would never in 1,000 years think that you are another associated or to think like, I mean, I don't know in your head. I mean, he probably thought that he was a Chapo Guzman, but he, like I said, he wasn't, he, I said at the time of the call, he tried to intimidate me and say, well, it's not me now. I can't do anything. And so you just have to pay. I'm like, no, I'm all like, it's you. I know it's you. Just tell me, just tell me what, what you want or, hey, like just stop, because this is not going to end up good for you. You know what? It can't stop. I can't stop it, because it's not me doing it. I'm like,
And didn't he send some sort of like YouTube? It was like a Mexican mob, like a cartel thing.
yeah, I think, when, I think in one of the times that they were, it was, well, yeah, I think we didn't answer that time, and he was making it seem like it was a YouTube video from like a cartel member, I think back in, I don't know, a few years ago that they got, and he was using their audio, pretending that it was them. And I mean, I had heard this, heard this because it came out in the news, and I'm like, no, I'm not, like, and then I looked it up on YouTube, and I'm like, and I found it there. So yeah.
Mire, así como me mandó a chingar mi madre, así como lo doy entendido, no se va a hacer nada, no se va a negociar. Si así la quiere, así vamos. Entonces vamos contra la familia de la verga. Se va a pagar como quiera, de una manera u otra, pero se va a pagar. Buenas noches, Yolanda. Mire, hable con sus hijas, por favor, le suplico. Ya nos enfadamos, no la vamos a agarrar contra las cosas chiquitas, vamos contra la familia. Hable con sus hijas, por favor, si no van a empezar a salir lastimados. Paguen su cuenta y cada quien por su lado. Por favor.
So that was January 5th when he called you, and then on the 27th, and this is what was kind of crazy because we would park where he pulled up. So on January 27th, he drives up and he's blasting this type of music. And this is at 9 o'clock at night. Can you take me through that night?
Yeah, that night we were watching TV downstairs, and Vero wasn't feeling too well, so it was pretty early, and she's like, "Oh, let's go upstairs, and because I'm not feeling well." And I remember at the time I was like, "Well, I was really into a show, and
Ray Donovan.
yeah, we were watching
Ray
Ray Donovan's show, and I think it was like still like half an hour left on it." And I go, "Well, let's just wait till we finish watching it." And she was like, "No, I don't feel good." So she went upstairs, and I was there, and I'm like, I was thinking of just staying and watching it, but instead I went upstairs. And I'm so glad that happened, because just a few minutes afterwards, I was upstairs and I fell asleep. And that's when the shots started. And it was, I forgot how many shots he shot at the house. He parked across the street and he started shooting. As soon as my wife woke me up, and I was just, it seemed like a dream. It seemed so unreal.
Yeah.
I remember my wife went to the kids' room, or our room where they were staying, to check up on them. And I mean, the whole thing only lasted a few seconds.
But it seemed forever.
But yeah, it seemed like eternity. It seemed like a long time.
So he pulls up, and we got video of this. He pulls up and he has a song playing, and after you saw the video, it seemed like it was a song that he would play when he was intoxicated or something like that. But he pulls up across the street.
I think it's called like in Spanish corridos. So yeah, it was a corrido.
And what is that?
Corrido is
Like a folklore song.
He shot a handful of times. I believe there was a pause, and he shot more. And I think I counted at that particular time 20 rounds. All of them hit the first floor. He didn't hit any of the. He didn't aim at the second floor.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Couple of them
hit upstairs.
And it's interesting when you look at ballistics, because I don't know what they recovered, but these rounds went through the drywall.
Yes.
Through the almost the entire length of the house.
Yeah. At the time, we had the kitchen, and there was a lot of bullets that the Orange PD found.
And didn't you find stuff later, like weeks later, in the backyard and things like that? Rounds.
I found I think like 2 more bullets later.
And so, who called the police?
I did.
Like immediately, and then did they get here fairly quickly?
Yes.
That's
I mean, obviously not quick enough where they didn't catch him. So.
And what's crazy is when we were conducting surveillance periodically, it was me and another person, because I wouldn't put somebody that wasn't able to handle that type of thing. We would park in that spot that he went. So potentially he could have, if we were there, he would have parked right in front of us.
Yeah.
And it would have been a good angle for us if we had to engage him or something. But so then what went through your mind that night, the next day, going forward?
Again, the whole thing seemed like surreal. Like, again, it's something that you see in the movies that you never expect it was going to happen to us. I remember we couldn't come into the house for, the whole night. The whole night, detectives were here from Orange PD doing their forensics, and it was just, again, it was a tiring night. It was very tiring for everybody, physically and mentally.
Neighbors were kind enough to let us.
Yeah, we had,
Over.
our whole neighbors, the various neighbors were very supportive.
And then did you end up leaving at some point and staying elsewhere?
For like 2 weeks, I think.
Yeah, we actually, our kids,
Had been relocated.
yeah, and my in-laws stay with a very close friend of mine in Corona for almost a month. Me and my wife continue staying here at the house.
And then how did that affect, because some of these things were, and especially if you watch the video, they seem like amateurs, some of that arson stuff. But this was the thing that was extremely serious in this whole series of stuff. What were you thinking at that time, and what were your thoughts about what did you expect of the police?
Again, at that time, the the police, the resources they had, they blocked the whole neighborhood, but unfortunately they were already gone. And
That was the scary part already,
Yeah.
because they already attempted against our lives. Even when they came, the police, they were like, you have an angel looking after you guys, because all these bullets and not a single one hit anybody. That's where I was like, no, he's not going to stop until he kills somebody. So that's where we were like, well, what do we do now? It wasn't like the police got him. Now it was like, okay, now he knew that police was after him, and either he was going to calm down or he was just going to go out, being more.
past aggression.
Yeah.
More daring.
Yeah.
More daring would be the word.
Especially if substances were involved, like alcohol or anything, or drugs. He wasn't thinking in his straight mind. He was already like, I don't care. He was already in a suicidal mind.
That's what we're speculating again. I don't think we really would like to think that nobody would do something that stupid or something that cruel in the right mind.
Yeah, especially because at that time our kids were here and parents, and I'm like, okay, if he has it against us, why not just get us? Which we didn't owe him anything, but at that time I'm like, okay, if you're that mad, all right, just come against us. Don't, if we're going to a gas station or something, but don't do it. Don't, the way that he did it. Yeah, he was just pure evil.
Yeah, your aunt in Mexico is like, what did I do?
Exactly. I mean, our kids had no
Parents,
involvement
too.
in this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and going back to 2021, he says, I'm ready to die. I'm not going to die by myself. I want to take people with me. And then if you fast forward to, 2022, January 27th, that's when he, started that process. And I remember coming here that next day and seeing, the bullet holes through the couch where somebody could have been watching, like you said, you guys were watching.
That's
TV.
that's where I was sitting. 2 bullets would have definitely impacted me. I guess one of the lessons is listen to your wife and follow your wife, which I'm glad I did. I was very fortunate.
How about your experience working with law enforcement? What were your thoughts? I know you expressed some frustrations to me, but it's a process. And they even told me, like the detective asked me what I thought. And now they're hardworking people. Like, this is a weird deal because this is a unique situation with the Mexico connection, the voice, the calls, and
Counties.
and other people doing this. One of the things that kind of surprised me about this is this guy's recruiting people to help him. Not the smartest people, but what are they getting out of it? The promise of potential stuff.
And probably
Yeah.
low lives that didn't have.
It's one of those where you look back and it seemed like a lot of work that he did. I mean, if he would have focused on doing something else, I mean, it's just a lot of effort that he put.
Yeah,
And
it's a lot.
whoever he had with him, I mean, they literally spend a lot of time, a lot of effort. And I don't know if it's something that they've done before, but it was just shocking to the extent that they went. And again, and throughout this whole time, like I said, I mean, the best thing that we did is come to you for your services, because you just kept everything, you kept us grounded. If we would have been by ourselves, I mean, chances are we probably would have either negotiated or probably done something stupid on our end. So
Speaking of that, I mean, I know you and I have spoken. A lot goes through your mind because you have firearms. You train.
Exactly. And that's what I mean by doing something stupid. I mean, you want to take. You're willing to do anything to protect your family, but when you're not in the right state of mind, you're not going to be any help. On the contrary, you might even do something worse. And worst of all, even if you did end up taking matters into your own hand, most people are not the kind of people that would want to carry that in their conscience.
Yeah.
Again, at the end of it all, looking back, it's like, I'm so glad nothing, we didn't do anything stupid. I didn't do anything stupid, because at the end of the day, you know what? I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I'm a God-fearing Christian. And to me, all that for what? For money? Money that it's nothing. There's nothing to money. Money is
There is replaceable.
exactly. And again, it's a very sad thing, and unfortunately there's evil people. There's people that do evil things, and and I'm glad there's people like you, good men, good people that are willing to take on evil people to help.
I remember seeing your face that next day after the shooting, and I know that you wanted to protect, and you did protect. And I told you the vantage point where he was at was not a good vantage point for you to go after him or retaliate or shoot or whatever. It just tactically wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That again, like my wife said, we definitely had an angel, because there's a lot of things that could have done or looking back thinking I should have done, but in the clarity of everything, I'm so glad that again, that I didn't take any action. I could have hurted somebody else. Even if I hurted him, I would have regretted.
Yeah.
I mean, no matter what, I wouldn't want to take anybody's life.
So eventually he gets arrested, but on an unrelated charge. So a narcotics charge and by the federal government, DEA, and it was something to do with San Diego County, while Orange PD is still working up their case. And then he gets released, right?
Yeah.
And then at some point, Orange gets him. And at that point, you're talking with the Orange County DA that's handling it, right? You guys are meeting with them.
Yeah, and again, and all this time is, yeah, I mean, after the shooting, we're talking about 3-4 years, I think, and in all this time, there's there's not a lot of communication between the district attorney and letting us know what's going on. They took what seemed forever to bring charges. The first time we met with them, they were still working on the case, even though it was like 3 years after the fact.
So knowing what you know now, because this started in August 2021, and he was just sentenced in April 2026. And after you talking to the DA, do you understand maybe that lack of communication and why it takes so long, and maybe some of the issues that maybe wasn't clear cut? In other words, if they caught him right here, it probably would have been filed a lot quicker.
No, after, again, the district attorney, she was very, very informative. And I understand her point now, because at the time it was an open case, so she couldn't reveal a lot of the information that afterwards she did reveal to us. And again, I'm very grateful for her taking charge and leading and filing the case, and also for the hard work of the Orange PD, that they did a lot of detective work. So again, I'm very grateful, even though it was frustrating, especially when your family is in danger.
And then when you look at some of these other crimes, no, San Bernardino, did they ever? I know Orange County DA was able to add that to the ultimate case, but they weren't. San Bernardino detectives weren't really in contact, right? Or were they?
No,
Oh, okay.
no, we never heard from some Bernardino.
Got it.
It was just the Orange PD.
Do you think people understand what stalking victims go through, or what you guys have gone through? I mean, obviously, I was an outsider that came in, but do you think people truly understand?
No, because before this, I wouldn't even. I mean, I wouldn't even comprehend. I mean, if somebody would say that to me, especially owning guns, I would say, well, you just carry a gun and protect yourself. But it's more of a psychological game that it's played on your mind, where it's the unknown. And again, my recommendations is get professional help. I mean, obviously go to your local law enforcement, but they don't have the resources and they don't have the time. Again, it doesn't have to be you. Of course, I would recommend you, but I would, if somebody goes through that, I would definitely recommend they hire a professional like you. Again, obviously, you did an amazing job helping us and guiding us, but if anybody ever faces a scenario like that, definitely get professional help.
And for the audience, he admitted to everything. He took a deal. He got 15 years. It would have been great if he got more, but he got 15 years. So he admitted to everything, and that happened last April 2026. When you look at what you experienced and how it changed, how did it change you as a person and as a family?
It definitely changes in the sense that it made us more cautious, more private, and how it changes us as a family. It's crazy how everybody says in the midst of bad things, there's always something good, and this is one of those that in the midst of all these horrible things that was happening to us, it really brought us closer together. my wife and I believe we're a lot closer with my in-laws, my sister, and the kids. And not only that, but it makes you value that relationship and the people that you are close with. It's just more meaningful.
Yeah, and I think not that your kids needed to experience this, but I think it definitely opened their eyes to life and how important
Yeah.
everything is in family. And how now do you feel safe today?
Oh, definitely.
Definitely.
Definitely. Again, what I feel the most is peace of mind. Peace of mind. Just being home or having the kids outside or wherever they're at. Just being at peace. That we're safe. We have a pretty safe neighborhood. But still,
Peace of mind when they take it away from you. We don't realize as humans
how valuable it is.
once you don't have that, it's the worst thing ever.
Yeah, you're vulnerable. And then this thing, he was going after family members and everywhere and outside the country and outside the county. And you just never knew what was going to happen when, which is frustrating for us because we were watching. And I remember telling you guys, I would call Orange PD in when I saw suspicious cars, and some of them were, I mean, it wasn't him, obviously, but people were getting checked on this lawn. And I think about that night, and if me or the guy that I was working with and sharing the shifts with, it would have been crazy.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a different outcome. Not a good one for him. But
Yeah.
again, and I'm glad it didn't go that way because I would hate for you to have that on your conscience.
What keeps your family moving today? I mean, I've seen the transition and you guys from the first day that I sat with you guys. Is there anything that kind of stands out that could help other people? Like,
Well, personally, in the midst of all this, at first I was finding comfort in alcohol. I was drinking a little more than I should, and again, beautiful things happen in the midst of bad things. One of them for me was finding a relationship with Jesus. My son actually wanted to start going to church, and I started going with him, not realizing that the whole calling was for me. And it's just been a beautiful journey. It's been a life-changing, and we do more things together as a family.
and then you ended up getting a guard dog in case.
Yeah. And so if you ever need her, Eric, for one of your
Yeah, for
take her.
protection gigs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's good. Don't let the tininess fool you. Don't let that size fool you.
She's a good alarm.
Is there anything you want law enforcement or investigators to hear? Anything that that could be done and jumped on, or do you think that it worked out with the evidence and everything that was presented?
I mean, it's hard for me to say because I'm not in their shoes. Everybody, there was a lot of police work, and I could imagine that was just my case. There was tons of police involved, so I could imagine what they go through on a daily basis, and just again, I could see that they don't have the resources to do the detailed work that it would take for they would consume hundreds, if not thousands, of man hours. And again, we have a good police force here in Orange, but it definitely it's definitely up to us, the citizens, to be vigilant. Not take action into our own hands, but be more vigilant, be more assertive, and definitely, if you find yourself in a bad situation, is take notes, write things down.
Yeah. I thought the DA did a good job. I thought she was
Yeah.
really good. And it's good knowing that if you're a victim like this in Orange County, they're going to pursue it.
Yes.
And she was extremely assertive. You have any final thoughts on anything?
No, just thank you.
Exactly,
Like I
yeah,
said, if
we
it
just-
wasn't, I mean, it wasn't because of you, Eric. I think, like I said, you documented since day one everything, and you gave us that assurance when I think when you met with us, you saw it on our face, said it everything, and just you being here and answering our calls anytime gave us like, okay, you know what, we're not by ourselves.
Yeah.
So that assurance, yeah, yeah.
My pleasure.
And then, like I said, you and your whole staff were amazing.
I appreciate it. So this is a first on the podcast. I want to make a toast to you guys. I want to make a toast to you being here, to survival, to family, to peace, and never living in fear again.
Thank you. And
Thank you,
because
Eric.
of that, a beautiful relationship with you and your lovely wife started. And I mean, from all this, despite all this, the light that, that, I mean, like family, you guys are like family. So from everything we went through, I mean, this was the outcome. So thank you.
Yeah. That's like, again, one word. Thank you. Forever grateful, hermano.
Yeah. Thank you.